everybody, and welcome to our top 10 quick comic picks. I'm Andy.
Matt.
We're here with Infinity Flux Comics out of Chattanooga, Tennessee. Hope everyone had a fantastic
Mhm.
Thanksgiving, Black Friday, all that good stuff. But we are here to get into more comics. This is our quick show. We're going over 10 different books we think you can't live without this week when you're heading into your comic book store. We're here, like we said, with Infinity Flux Comics, and you can follow us at infinityflux.net where
You can order these
you can
books.
order these books right
Yeah, right
now.
now.
So let's get into it.
Yep, we're going to start with Titans Beast World #1. This is the beginning of the big Beast World crossover that we've been hearing about for a long time now. This is going to run through 6 issues, a 6-issue main story, and there's 4 or 5 one-shot tie-ins as well. But in this one, the Titans go out to space to stop this giant cosmic being known as the Necrostar. They develop a plan for it, they execute that plan, but unforeseen circumstances interfere with that plan, and that is what starts the Beast World.
Let's say it feels like one big event, but actually it's another big event kind of right
Yeah,
behind
right,
it.
exactly.
That's really,
Yeah.
really cool. Okay, next up, I've got Amazing Spider-Man Gang War First Strike. So I do think this is pretty necessary if you're planning on reading the Gang War story and
Yeah.
Amazing Spider-Man and all its extra books that are coming out. This is really good though. This really sets the stage for all the crime families, what's going on there, and kind of the power vacuum that has been
Right.
created since Tombstone has been taken out of the picture. There is a bunch of twists and turns in this one, and like if you're going to read the other ones, this really sets up Spider-Man going to create his team to take down all of the crime in New York.
Yep.
So definitely check this one out if you're planning on reading Gang War.
Next is Batman 89 Echoes #1. So this takes place 2 years after the last Batman 89 miniseries. And during that time, Batman has not been seen at all, to the point where ordinary citizens are dressing up in makeshift Batman costumes to take on crime themselves. But 4 of them have been killed now because obviously they're not crime fighters like Batman. And Barbara Gordon wants to know if Batman has anything to do with it. And Alfred has to tell her, I don't know where he is. So, yeah, if you want to find out where he is, you have to read this issue.
Next up, I've got X-Men Blue Origins. So this is a little one-shot aside from a lot of the books going on right now with the X-Men stuff. But if you've been reading the Uncanny Spider-Man, I do think this is
Mhm.
going to be big. This focuses on Mystique and Nightcrawler, which we feel like we understood their connection in the past. But let me tell you, this is a big book that reshapes the entire history of Nightcrawler and Mystique and Destiny in a way I don't think people are going to see coming. So a lot of X lore kind of gets rewritten or revealed in this issue. So if you're a fan of those characters, highly recommend this one.
Next is a new book from Image called Crave. This is about an app called Crave that suddenly shows up on the phones of every student at a prestigious university one day. And it basically asks them, tell me what you crave. And when they put it in, it tells them what they need to do to accomplish that. And students use it basically to hook up with other students. I mean, that's a pretty good use for it. But there is one student named David who realizes that something is off with this, and he's going to have to try to figure out what is really behind this weird new app.
Mm. I've got Action Comics number 1059. So this is we're getting close to the end of this run of Action Comics before the new kind of format it takes over. But this is really cool. One, you see on the cover, Superman gets this really cool night suit that he gets to wear. But this reveals a lot more about the Blue Earth group.
Yeah.
Plus, that there is a true identity of a character that's been through this entire thing that gets revealed that actually has ties to some bigger DC characters that should shake up Superman's story going forward quite a bit. So that is Action Comics 1059, and we're getting ready for Action Comics Annual
The annual.
that will be wrapping up
Mhm.
this storyline.
Next is Spider Woman #1. So this is a Gang War tie-in, but it also kind of stands on its own. You could
Mhm.
read this with Gang War, or you could read just this if you wanted to, because Spider Woman is trying to track down Hydra to sort of find out what they're up to. Meanwhile, Diamondback, who is one of the mob bosses in Gang War, he is working with Hydra to push his product, his drug, basically. Spider Woman is also looking for her baby, who it seems like maybe she kind of doesn't remember him or only vaguely remembers him, and it doesn't seem like everybody else or anybody else does either. And I think it has to do something with the web of life and when she was unraveled from reality in the end of Spider-Verse storyline. So a lot of moving parts, but it's been a while since we've had a proper Spider-Woman book, and this is the first issue.
Well, next up, I have trapped in the anniversary celebration he wants no part of. It's Howard the Duck. So this is actually celebrating 50 years of Howard the Duck. Can you believe that he has been around that long? Really cool. But in this one, Howard's a very unlucky duck. And there is a new character, the cousin of the Watcher, called the People, who is going to show him multiple realities. But in all those realities, looks like Howard's life is actually better, and a lot of classic Howard the Duck storylines have turned out better than they did in the regular universe. So if you want to see poor Howard just living his best life and his worst
His
life,
worst life.
check this one out.
And last for me is Alan Scott, The Green Lantern, #2. This one was great. This one takes place mostly in 1937, which is a year after the events of the last issue. Alan Scott has uh, enrolled himself in Arkham Asylum to undergo conversion therapy. Because the military gave him a choice. You either do that or we kick you out of the military, because they did find out about his relationship with Johnny that we saw in last issue. So he thinks he's doing the right thing until he realizes what's really going on there and realizes, hey, I need to get out of this place. And what's really cool about this book is the end of the book um, butts up right against the very first appearance of Alan Scott in All American Comics #16 from 1940. Like it all fits together so well. It was really, really well done. Another really, really good issue of Alan Scott Green Lantern.
And I have one that I was very excited to read. This is Assassin's Creed Visionaries, now a massive book, not in size, but in publisher. Assassin's Creed is heading over to Massive, and in this, it's kind of an anthology series where each issue, I believe, is going to have two stories. And this one, we get a assassin from Brazil in 1971 and a assassin from the future from the year 2119. So you get some very different extremes in the styles, and these new assassins are actually created by the writer and artist working on these stories.
Okay.
So they're all brand new characters set within the Assassin's Creed world. Really, really fun one there. And that is it for our top 10 quick comic picks. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to head over to infinityflux.net where you can pre-order these books that we are talking about right now. Pre-order whatever books you want that are on there. Everything you pre-order, you get 10% off of. Stay tuned for our longer show coming up. We'll be going over these books plus a lot more, their variants, all of that good stuff. But until then, thank you so much for watching and
See
see
ya.
ya.